Well, this time every year we get a glimpse into the future of tech gadgets after thousands of companies unveil their newest inventions and products at the Consumer Electronics Show.
And some of the most promising tech introduced this year in Las Vegas is to help people with disabilities. In today's What the Tech, Jamie Tucker has a first look at gadgets to give people more independence and improve their lives.
Every year at CES, I'm impressed by these futuristic gadgets, but I'm always more impressed with technology that helps people. And this year's most meaningful innovations weren't about screens or speed. They were about independence. This technology is called 360 Direct Access. It helps people who are deaf get live customer support for their tech devices. Instead of struggling with phone menus and chatbots, users can connect directly with a support agent who uses sign language.
So you can actually sign to the avatar and the avatar will respond back. It's a two-way communication.
That means real help in real time. Another device called Make Sense is designed for people who are blind. It uses a handheld controller, precise positioning, and audio clues to guide users safely from place to place.
So you'll be able to say, I want to go to Starbucks, and then our own routing engine that we've built will be pavement compliant, crossing compliant. It will announce crossings as you're approaching them and when you finish them.
Other companies focused on mobility, including robotic exoskeletons that help people walk again. And some focus on something just as important, companionship. Tombot's robotic dog is designed to provide emotional support for people with dementia who can't care for a real pet. LEQ is a home device created for older adults living alone.
The idea of LEQ is to be a companion and to become the best friend and develop a relationship with the elderly people, to support them to stay more independent.
LEQ reminds them to take their medication, helps plan meals, share photos and phone calls with family members, and even offering a comforting hug. Robots, TVs, and cars always grab the big spotlight at CES, but I think the most powerful technology is the stuff that's designed to help people live better lives. For What the Tech, I'm Jamie Tucker, News 10.
And some of these devices are being tested right now in real homes and communities.
Many of the companies developing accessibility tech share information with one another to improve their inventions. The Bundle Up.